gonna help do the video? You're on camera. Here. Why don't you go? So, let me tell you, we have 18 laying hens. It's the end of spring. We're coming up on summer. And typically we average around 10, 12 eggs a day. Lately, 4 or 5 eggs a day. It's not winter time. Where are the eggs gone? So we found 2 places the eggs have disappeared to. One will not surprise you. Well, probably neither will surprise you. We bought Mr. Steve the donkey a brand new bale of hay. It just so happened Jeff went around the side. You can see where this is going now. He finds this little hole, and there is the mother load of eggs. It's like a manufacturing facility in there. There's tons of eggs hiding in the hay. If you're free ranging your chickens, or if you're like us where technically they're free ranged, but we do have a perimeter fence. It's about a 1 acre perimeter fence around them. And there are some woods, of course, Mr. Steve's hay. And so it's a literal Easter egg hunt trying to find where the eggs are. However, that only accounts for 17 of the laying hens. One is our OEG, our Old English Game. Her and her mate, Spaz, are in a tractor by themselves. She has nowhere to run off to a bale of hay, but she hasn't been laying. And you go check, and there's no egg, and you go check, and there's no egg, and she's not broody. She's perfectly normal like she's always been, but she's not laying. I do some research, can't figure out why. And then Jeff, it's always Jeff, went to check to see if there was an egg, and wouldn't you know, if you saw the little shorts video I put up not too long ago, Jeff hates snakes. Jeff hates snakes. I'm not bothered by black snakes, rat snakes, garter snakes, chicken snakes, whatever you want to call them. I'm not bothered by them. They eat mice. They're fine. I leave them alone. They don't bother me. I don't bother them. Jeff, no, he doesn't do snakes. He doesn't care what kind it is, and it's his luck. This is what he found. So if you like the videos that you're seeing here on our channel, and you just can't get enough of us, we really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button. You can hit the bell notification so that you get notified whenever we put out a new video. And please feel free to share this with like-minded individuals that you know that are interested in homesteading, starting to homestead, or just like the farm life. Maybe they're clearing land, or maybe they've been homesteaders for years, but they just want to follow along. Now that explains why I found what I just assumed was, it was sitting out in the sun on the ground, looked like a soft-shelled egg had gone bad. No, apparently snakes will regurgitate the shell, and that's what it was. And so that's why we haven't been getting any eggs from our OEG, because the snakes get them. So took care of the snake. We will take care of any others that we find anywhere near our chickens, and Jeff will make sure of that. We think we've solved the problem with the chickens laying anywhere else. They haven't in the last few days. They've been laying in their hen house. But what I wanted to talk to you about today is, when you do find those Easter eggs laying here, there, and yonder, how do you know that the egg is still good? And so, simple trick, you may or may not have seen this before, but I'm going to show you. I have purposely put some good ones and bad ones in here, and the reason I found out they were bad is because I did exactly what I'm about to do. All you need is, you can get a tall glass of water, bowl of water. I chose this because I thought it would be easier for you to see. I've got some good eggs here. I've got some bad eggs. And stay tuned to the end. I'm going to put up a little chart that shows how to know how many days old the eggs are. They may still be good, but this way it can give you an indication of how long it's good for. Farm fresh eggs do not have to be refrigerated as long as you do not wash them. There's a cuticle on the outside of the egg. So when you buy eggs at the store, they are washed. And the minute you wash eggs, it takes that cuticle off and now bacteria can get inside. So they have to be refrigerated. Farm fresh eggs, if you don't wash them, you don't have to refrigerate them. However, they're only good for about 21 days. Some people do keep them longer. Some keep them 30, 60, 90 days. Some coat them in mineral oil. It's all in how you want to do it. Personally, 21 days, and that's about it. Unless you refrigerate them. To refrigerate them, just like they do at the manufacturing facilities, you will wash them in water with a bit of bleach. I can leave a recipe in the description below. You can check that out to see the proper dilution to properly wash your eggs. And then you can store them. 45 days is the standard, but a lot of people do keep them longer. The difference between refrigerated and unrefrigerated, there's really not. They taste the same. I think the US, Australia, maybe one other country are the only ones actually you go to the store and you buy your eggs refrigerated. I was born overseas, Army brat, and in Germany they don't refrigerate their eggs, and when you go to the grocery store, they're not in the refrigerated section. So they taste the same. The one difference you will or may see is the egg whites for a room temperature egg versus a refrigerated egg. A room temperature egg, the egg whites are a little more watery, but the flavor's there and they cook just as well. On that note, brown versus cream or a white egg, they all taste the same. It all depends on what you feed your chickens. They may very well taste different than what you buy at the grocery store because they're being fed a standard feed for that production facility or that farmer. If you are feeding your chickens nothing, if they're doing nothing but free ranging, eating crickets, bugs, and grass and leaves, it will taste different than if you give them store-bought grain constantly. So there is a difference in the taste only based off of what you feed them, but the color of the shell, they're all the same inside. So let's show you how to, I've got chickens coming up to greet me again. Let's show you how to tell if it's a good egg or a bad egg. Some people get this backwards. So if I put it in and it sinks to the bottom, this is a good egg. Now, make sure I keep the good one separate. If I put an egg in and it's a bad egg, it's going to float right up to the top. One thing you don't want to do is be testing these in your house and pick one up that's wet and now it's slippery and drop it. Depending on how old it is, it's not going to smell very good at all. So let me bring you in for a closer look. I'm going to show you good and bad. I think you can see that okay. So let's try this again. I believe this was a good one. It's one of our Cocoa Moran eggs. Alright, and let's compare that to... Okay, that was a good one too. Apologies. Let's compare that to this one. Okay, so you can obviously see the difference. This is going to be a good egg. This one, not so much. Now, if they're floating about halfway, that means they're still good, but they're not quite bad. And I don't have any halfway eggs. I apologize, but I will, again, like I said, at the end of this, I'm going to leave a little chart that'll show you. Let's test 2 more. Let me put the good one there, the bad one there. Oh, I could do this all day. Whoops, that one had stuff on it. They're both good. And that one's good. Nope. Yes. And no. Okay, so I only had, well, I do have a halfway. If you can see this one, it's not really laying flat on the bottom. Let me take this bad one out. So if you can see, this is the good one right here. This is a bad one floating all the way at the top. And this one is not laying down, but not floating above the water either. See how you can see this one poking up out of the water? So this one here, it's not perfectly good laying on the bottom. It's not floating all the way at the top. It's just kind of hovering there, which means it's still good, not quite bad yet. That's the one that you want to cook next. So, short, sweet, to the point. Not a long video today. Sorry, not a lot of updates for you. But I wanted to bring this to you because a lot of people don't know. There are people that I've run into that are scared of eating farm fresh eggs. Thank you, Steve. I have met people that are scared of eating farm fresh eggs because they're like, oh, I don't know if it's bad. So for those of you that don't eat farm fresh eggs because you don't know how to tell, hopefully this helped you out. If you have anything to add or any comments or questions you want to ask, please leave those in the comments down below. We will talk to you next time. You'll have a fantastic and wonderful day. Take care.